Hi, everyone. I'm Steve here again with Brian Sanchez. Thanks for being here, Brian.
How's it going, Steve? Been a while. You must have been
Yeah.
somewhere.
So you've been on vacation in Europe,
I have, yes.
hence the title. We're going to talk about. I don't want to. I don't want to say the word is frustrated for me, but I would say disappointed and sad when I see it because I'm a people watcher. We're in the health club business. I'm always watching people, maybe judging them to a fault. I'm sorry, I can't help it. But I go on trips, everybody's fat in this country. And they're eating piles of food, but it's what's in the food. So it's amazing. It doesn't surprise me. I knew you were going to say what you said. As a matter of fact, I suggested it when you started talking about, you didn't gain any weight. You could eat whatever you want. And you didn't see any fat people who were in Italy unless they were Americans, right?
Well, I would let's be cautious of what I'm going to. Yes.
Yeah.
So, look, my wife and I and some friends just did an extensive tour, if you will, of Europe. We get back there every couple of years. Anyways, um, the food, what I was talking about, everybody, was the food was so clean that it was incredible to eat. Everything that we had, everywhere we went, the chefs that were in the villa that we stayed in, the restaurants that were chosen, they all prided themselves in they make it right there. It's all fresh. It's all homemade. It's all clean. The water tasted different. You could drink the tap water. It was clean. That kind of water goes into the work of the food, which enhances the food. The food itself is so beautiful, down to going to some of these places like, and I'm not a drinker, but we went to vineyards. The group that I'm with, they enjoyed wine. But just the breakdown on one of the doctors that runs one of the vineyards was talking about the soils, and they make sure they have the right soils for the right growth of their fruits and the right way they approach it. It's just so incredible to listen to, and everything they make is just clean. It doesn't have all these crazy things in it like we put into our own food source. The other side to it, and people, talk about going out and eating, and what it reminded me was, a traditional meal, let's just say in the villa that we were staying in, would start out with an initial course of food. And there was your appetizer, I'll call it using American terms, the appetizer, then the first main event, if you will, the second main food, and then the after dinner food. Nothing that we got was a crazy American style over the top portion. In other words, it wasn't a 48-ounce steak with a 4 pound potato with everything in it. It was all, you could fit almost all the portions every day into the palm of your hand. They were realistic portions, and it reminded me of the importance of eating clean and just eating what you need for that moment. And you ate in a fashion that, as you ate through the day, that's all you were doing was consuming realistic portions all day long. You never went hungry, and it was so good to the point of I ate fresh gelato every day. Every day I was there. It sounds awful, but it was so clean and so good and so crisp and so fresh. I didn't gain an ounce. Now,
Right.
granted, I was walking probably 8 to 10 miles a day sometimes, but it still blows me away because if I did what that here, I don't think, maybe that should be a test. Maybe I should try
Yeah.
to gain some weight. I
I
don't
gained
think I'd
35
get.
pounds, bro.
I don't think I could do the same thing here. I really
You
don't.
can't.
And I know that sounds awful, but it just goes back to whatever happened to us keeping everything to the basics. And those that do travel outside the country, when you go outside of the country and you're eating the food of the place that you're at, you realize that everything's simply seasoned. It's well seasoned. you taste the products. There's no cover up on the products that you're eating, and it's just flat out clean. It's clean food. Whether it's even the pastas there that I was eating in Italy over the last couple of weeks were so fresh and so clean every time you had them. It just tasted so much different than what you would get in the States. And I'm not a big pasta eater, but I eat pasta almost every day. And here in the US, I eat it once a month, maybe, if that. So it's something to be said with good eating, healthy eating, clean eating. And I ate a lot, but it didn't impact me on vacation one bit, Steve.
Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time, and it's the word you keep using is clean. And we talked about the water. Even the water is clean. The water that we drink in this country is it affects us. And the soil, I mean, everything. Look, I don't know. It's just poison, where where you went. Everything is fresh. There's no sprays on anything, and it's clean. It's all clean. And I hear all the time somebody goes to Europe and they ate whatever they want and as much as they want, and they come home thinner. And you look much thinner. If you turn sideways, you would probably disappear. But
I highly doubt that because I came back and went golfing for a couple of days, so I made up for that. But I can't tell you, my wife, she even, and she, I won't say her weight because she'd kill me. She didn't gain anything. And I'm not kidding you, we ate all day, every day. The place that we stayed, our breakfasts were already there, our lunches were available to us. Everywhere we went, everything was catered for the entire time. So it was one of those things where it makes you really think that when you're home, like last night, we got home and we're like, "Oh, we don't want to go out to eat. We stayed at home and we made something as clean as we could." And oddly enough, we ate portions like we just got when we were in Europe. We didn't go over the top, and it just reminded us that there's a better way to do everything. And look, we get caught up in the way we live here. There ain't nothing to run down to a local restaurant and get 12 pounds of rice, 14 pounds of steak, 3 cups of gravy for an appetizer. You know what I mean? Or a plate of nachos with 7,000 calories and nothing on it. It's something to truly think about. So if you're really watching what you're doing, start looking at how clean you can eat. And I think you're going to find that it's very satisfying. And now I'm not going to say I'm not going to eat the good old American cheeseburgers because I know I'm going to, but proof's in the pudding right there.
yeah, it is. It is very satisfying. And one part of the reason is because the food is so nutrient dense, where here you start eating the food and it has no nutrients in it. So you're just hungrier and hungrier and hungrier. Hey, I need 10 times more to get the nutrients that I need. And you just keep eating, and your body says, you need more, and you keep eating and eating and eating. It's not like that where Italy and some of these European countries. And to eat clean, my wife and I told you this before we turned this on, went to a restaurant at Mammoth, and it's a authentic Italian restaurant, which you can't you can, but I don't go to the Italian restaurant downtown and eat pasta because it's not the same. They make this stuff where we went from scratch, and the flour and everything, the ingredients, it all comes from Italy. So it's coming from their soil, and they have the ingredients, and then they make the pasta. What a difference, not only in taste, but for your health. And the water is cleaner. So, um, it's the right oils. But here, you're getting the seed oils. You're just getting junk around every corner. It's the sauces. You can't just grab the ketchup off the table at a restaurant here unless you're at a particular, we go to a restaurant once in a while up in Reno. It's called Grateful Gardens. They've got organic ketchup on the table, but you don't see that at hardly any restaurant.
Right,
You
right.
can't just put ketchup on your burger, and you can't eat the burger because of the meat and the buns and the seed oils, and you can't put mustard on it. And it, it's going to make you unhealthy. And the soil, they take care of their soil. We try to mass produce and just make it grow, 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 and more spray and more spray and more spray. And the statistics I've heard, a ridiculous amount of teenagers have fatty liver in this country. How did
Yeah,
that happen?
yeah, that's
It's the
insane.
seed. Look, 15-year-olds haven't been drinking alcohol since they were 3. So how did so many of them get fatty liver? Half of them are 60% or whatever the number is. It's ridiculous. It's because of the garbage in the food. And this is a passion of mine. I'm always trying to get people to eat clean, but it's expensive. It has to be organic. And even then, you know, I don't think an organic apple here is not going to be like an organic apple in Italy. They're not going to be the same. Um, and here, my wife and I, we try to do the best that we can. She uses organic almond flour and organic different flours and stuff when she makes things like bread and so on. And it's definitely healthier. And we've been doing this for many, many years. And your body can fix itself if you can find a way to clean up your food. But we get in a rush. We run to the store, we grab, oh, this looks good, that looks good, and we're just grabbing it, come home and just boom, 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 we're eating it, eating the desserts, and it's messed up, man.
It's so interesting, is all the stuff they use to flavor our food. Like one of the nights specifically, it was a lunch that we had. In the morning, we went out with the dogs, and we went and hunted truffles. Well, those were the flavorings that we were using in the lunch that day. The tomatoes were coming right from their own vines right there in the vineyard. The produce was right there. You watched them growing it. They're farming for their restaurant right there. They're taking care of everything. The wild boar, you hear the wild boar up in the mountain that you're going to be eating in the next couple of days. It's just so amazing to see and remind you that you can do that. Now you can do some of that here too. We're not saying you can't. You just got to start reading labels, everybody. It brought me back to earth because I'd kind of gotten away from it. I tried to eat all right. Um, you know, um, we can all do better. Think about it, people. It's worth thinking about.
For sure. The farm raised fish, gross. If you look at that, what they're eating oh my gosh, it's gross. The chickens, gross. What they're feeding the cattle, what candy, Skittles, it's like, come on. And it's true, you are what you eat, but what we eat is also what they eat.
Yeah.
It matters. So, next one we'll talk about exercise, which is from a whole different angle. And we just have in this country a different view on food and fitness and appearance. And we have the same idea when it comes to exercise. The real reason that Americans exercise is maybe not the best reason.
Right.
So we'll talk about that next time. Brian, it's good to see you back here. Hopefully, keep your diet clean. Order some
Yeah.
flour and fresh ingredients from Europe and start cooking at home, right?
Well, I know the difference between good and bad of olive oil now, so that's a plus, right?
It matters. Olive oil, you got to read the label. Is it really olive oil or is it laced with something else? You want organic, um, virgin, extra virgin olive oil. Make sure it's all olive oil, not 70% canola oil and it says olive oil. You got to watch all the tricks. And so you got to,
Right.
my thing, especially with olive oil, I go in and I pick up, we're fortunate to where we can do it this way, where most people aren't. I look for the most expensive olive oil, and then I read it. Most likely it's going to be good, but it costs 4 times more than the cheapest olive oil, which probably isn't even olive oil. So you
Makes
need to
me
go in.
think at the store that I use where I get everything in bulk, makes me think about those big jugs of oil I've been buying. Are they really olive oil?
Yep, look at it.
Now I got to
So
find
many
out.
times they put other oils in it, they mix it up, and it's like, you
That's
know
what we
what?
were taught. Yeah, that's what we were
You
taught.
gotta look. And that's why the olive oil, I don't buy the cheap stuff. I'll grab the most expensive one off the shelf and then I look at it. And sure enough, it's good. Try
Right.
buying, grab the cheapest bottle of olive oil and look at those ingredients.
Be
It's
surprised,
only gonna have a
everyone.
little bit of olive oil.
Right.
All right, Brian.
All right.
We'll talk to you next time. By the way, Brian's a personal trainer at Fitness for 10 in Carson City. Go say hi to him.
Take care, everybody. We'll see you down here soon.